We are starting at the early 1900s when the Jewish people from Europe and the Middle East fled to the biblical land. That land was ruled by the Palestinians, and the Palestine citizens and rulers were quite unhappy with this new development, resulting in a conflict. This conflict did not stay heated for very long. Now we're going to fast forward a few decades to World War II and the Holocaust. This period was very detrimental to the Jewish religion. Because of this, the UN decided to give the Jewish people a permanent home, Israel. But up until World War II, the fighting between the two states has cooled off for some time. But the UN's decision was not in favor of the Palestinians. Since the new homes for the Jews was in their land, this made them very angry. This once again created a conflict, but this time it was much worse. While all this fighting went on, Israel declared independence on May 14, 1948. On May 15, 1948, the next day, the First Israel-Arabic War broke out. In all of that, the US was still trying to trade for oil with Israel, having a good relationship with them. With all of the heaviness between Israel and the Palestinians, the US was trying to stray from the communication with the Palestinians, yet a special committee forced them to deal with the affairs. The war lasted under a year and resulted in 20,000 deaths between both sides. Once that was over, the conflict between the two states was pretty steady, having its ups and downs, but mostly staying at the baseline of fight. As a result of the war, 70,000 Palestinians became refugees. Many stayed in the respected areas of their land that the UN had made, but some fled to Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan. In 1956, another Arabic-Islamic war broke out. This time, the Egyptian government was involved, and they were restricting the Israel's boats from passing through the Suez Canal. Later that same year, the Egyptians threatened to close the same canal for the British and the French. This aggregated the French and the British, causing them to move into Egypt alongside of the Israelites on October 29, 1956. This lasted until December 4, 1956, when the UN pulled all of the opposing military out of Egypt. Not much happened since then until 1979, when the Israelis and the Egyptians finally signed a peace treaty and became acquainted with one another. In 1983, after numerous attacks throughout the years from both nations, Lebanon and Israel signed a peace treaty. Now we're going to fast forward to September 11, 2001, when terrorism quickly became closely tied to the Palestinians and the Israelis' draw. The main goal of the United States' involvement became needing Palestinians to become democratic. Everything became more repetitive, more fighting, more dying, and resulting in more anger. This is our proposal for the solution, but it can be extremely difficult and dangerous if this were actually to be the solution. First, everyone would completely back out of the conflict and the relations for a while. Then they would gather a meeting up with all the nations that have the relations with Israel. These countries would be Italy, Canada, and Germany. Once in conversation with these nations, we would ask them to help get all the land back from the Palestinians. This task would require mass amounts of firepower and tons of military cooperation from all nations involved in the overtaking. This is also essential for the US and other nations that want to trade for oil. As stated before, this plan would be very difficult and dangerous, but it's one of the safer solutions that has not yet been tried. If all the countries come together and make do and help out, Israel and Palestine could stop their feud and become one.